Greetings and welcome back to room 303 in Sophomore English. We are in the MyPerspectives volume number 2, unit number 4, All That Glitters, and we are on page 461. We are looking at a cutting from Howard Moss's King Midas. Now we want to start with some background information on 461, and then we will get to this brief set of lines that will continue to deal with the Midas motif.
From King Midas by Howard Moss. Poetry. Background.
461.
The Greek myth of King Midas identifies Midas as king of Phrygia, a region that is currently part of Turkey. As the story goes, one day some local farmers find a part man, part goat satyr asleep in their field and bring him to the king. Midas recognizes the creature as Silenus, a close companion of Dionysus, the god of grapes, wine, and festive merriment.
Mark that.
Midas gives food and comfort to the satyr. Soon Dionysus arrives and is grateful to Midas for treating his companion so generously. In recognition of this hospitality, Dionysus offers to grant Midas a single wish. About the poet.
Page 460.
Howard Moss, born 1922, died 1987, is best known as the poetry editor for the New Yorker magazine.
Mark that.
A position he held for almost 40 years, beginning in 1950. The New Yorker's poetry editor holds a unique position in America's literary world. As editor, Moss was responsible for discovering and nurturing the careers of many of the 20th century's most important poets. In fact, Moss was an accomplished poet himself and produced 14 highly praised books of poetry during his career. In 1972, Moss won a National Book Award for his book, Selected Poems. From King Midas by Howard Moss.
461.
1. The King's Speech. The palace clocks are stiff as coats of mail. Time stopped. I flicked it with my fingernail. My taste is shattered on these works of art. It fathers by a touch. My bread's too rich, my butter much too golden, and my meat, a nugget on my plate as cold as ice.
462.
Fresh water in my throat turns precious there, where every drop becomes a millionaire. I rather would be blind than see this world all affluent and yellow, bought and sold by kings that hammer roses into gold. I did not know I loved their warring thorns, until they flowered into spikes so hard my blood made obdurate the rose's stem. My God was generous. Oh, much too much. The nearest rose is now beyond my reach.
Mark it.
My furry cat is sculpture, my dog dead. They stare at me with 4 wild, sparkling eyes that used to sparkle with dry wit. Instead, having no wit that they can profit by, they are pure profit, and their silences might make a king go mad. For it was I who made their lively muscles stiffly pose. This jaundice is relentless, and it grows.
Mark that.
Princess, come no closer. My rigid kiss, though it is royal still, will make you this or that kind of a statue. And my queen, be armed against this gold paralysis, or you will starve and thinly bed alone. And when you dream, a gold mine in your brain will have both eyes release their golden ore and cry for tears they could not cry before. I would be nothing but the dirt made loud, a ripeness of the weeds, a timid sun, or oppositely, be entirely cloud, absolved of matter, dissolving in the rain, or any small, anonymous live thing, then be the reigning king of this dominion,
Mark.
Where gold makes poor the richness of decay. O Dionysus, change me back to clay.
The Princess's Song.
463.
I praise the bird, the river, and the tree. If I were deaf or dumb, I could not see. Imagination is at the heart of me.
Mark it.
A falling leaf in fall's a thing to mourn. When riverbeds are dry, nothing is born.
Mark it.
Dear sparrows, sing your song this blessed morn. Divided into 2, I am a tree. The branches are too high for me to see. The roots too hidden from reality. They say that veins of gold lie underground. Beware, explorers, of the spoil you find. Though you sail back and forth, you sail around. The laurel grows upon the laurel tree. Apollo plucked the string of mystery and made a golden echo in the sea. The Queen's Speech. May every child of mine be barren golden. May every mammal turn to golden swine. Here's a list, O gardeners and huntsmen, of what to kill and what to leave alone. All natural things must go, excepting those that are by nature golden.
Mark it.
Whatever grows the king's touchy color, let live. But close your nets upon the pink and crimson rose. But I will save one rose tree in this pot, that I may gaze at it, and when he's not about, I'll look and look till light is gone, at flower, petal, stem, and leaf. And then I'll ponder how a king became a fool. Long live King Midas and the golden rule.
It is interesting that in this poem, at the very end, I'll ponder how a king became a fool is of course foundational to our reading of this text. By the way, in our senior year when we study Shakespeare's King Lear, there will be a line that's very similar. How King Lear becomes ostensibly a fool because he gives his kingdom away to his mean daughters. Now, notice there's three parts to this. There's first of all what Midas says, the King's Speech. Obviously, like we learned in our study of Hawthorne's Golden Touch, there is, for the king, nothing blessed about being able to turn everything to gold because of the one wish that he made. But notice the prince's song will see gold as something different, an imagination of a kind. And the queen's speech, notice, will take it one step even further, and it's just pitying Midas for the choices that he has made. At level 2A, jot down what you consider to be the primary message here. I think it's very similar to the very end of this set of lines. I'll ponder how a king became a fool, right? And the golden rule. Well, the golden rule that we should care about is not gold, but rather what? Either imagination or proper moral living, we might say. At 2B, notice notice the three different speeches poetically provided. Obviously, at 3A, we can relate Hawthorne's Midas touch as the golden touch as being central to this, as well as any number of other texts from Unit 4. Go back through them and take a look at them. And then finally, to own a text like this for yourself, what do you think is the most important gold of your life? And is the gold of your life the goal of your life? I hope so. Thank you.